So today I'm going to show you how to take your videos from looking like this to this. This current setup is just a softbox over here to my side, just shooting on me. It would be a lot better if we had something separating me from the background, as this light tends to bleed. I don't have anything to block it, so it just tends to bleed into the back, and we have a lot of just, I call it noise, but it's not really noise. Just looking at the image, it just looks like there's too much back here, and then as the light fades away, it just kind of looks boring. It's uninteresting. The first thing you could do is you could try to turn on something like this with a practical. I have this lamp back here that we can try to, just to see if that'll change anything. Maybe it'll look a little bit cleaner, maybe it looks a little bit better without it or with it. So now we have a little bit of a clash. We have a warmer tone right here and we have a cooler tone. There's nothing separating me. There's just a nice clear edge right here where the light is. But usually, especially with something like a backlight or even like a rim light, I would want it to at least kind of touch a little bit of me, maybe even some of the hair, just something along those lines, because just how it is now, it's just kind of boring still. We're still not quite there. So that is where something like this is definitely going to come in handy. This is not quite an actual real RE light, but it is the closest thing that I can actually afford to it. It uses the same bulb and everything. It's not as clean as some of the other RE tungsten ones, but it does get the job done. And for something like this, it would be perfect for spotting it over here behind me, just out of view, because I've tried with an LED and I always have to bring it into shot. It's just not strong enough. It's just one of these little Amazon ones. It's nothing crazy, so they're just not going to have the best throw. This already looks way better. It's so much cleaner. We're motivated by our practical here, and we've got a nice little outline separating me from this dark chair right here, and it's got a little bit of touch on the face right here as well. We can take some of this off just to make it look even a little bit cleaner, but it's definitely an improvement from what it was. After cleaning up a little bit more, just kind of spotting the light and then really just messing with the barn doors to try and shape the light, it looks way better. I'm more happy with this image than I was with the previous one. We've got the nice glow still here, nice little touch on the face itself, and we're not really doing too bad on mixing color temperatures, which that is something I always try to be careful of. Now our last light, we can kind of move around. It's just this handheld LED I have off of Amazon. I can link this in the description below if you're interested in it. This is by Ulanzi. One of the better little handheld LEDs I've ever used. I mean, just, this is on 10% power, and look at the difference on the side of my face here. And then when we slowly start to come up, we have a nice little glow right here. Now, right now we are kind of flirting with what is basically just 3-point lighting. So we have our fill light with this nice softbox LED. We have our rim light right behind me out of frame where you can't see it here, this tungsten light, this RE one. And now when we introduce our little handheld LED, well, now we're just doing 3-point lighting. We don't have to do this all the time, but something for like a talking head, it's better to give separation. From the beginning of this video, when I first started talking, look at that image compared to this one. We're already looking much cleaner. It looks more professional. People just tend to like it more. I don't really understand why on some things. Talking heads and just interviews in general, it makes perfect sense. But for something like a short film or even TV shows, you don't want to do 3-point lighting because you're lighting for either the space or for the emotional pieces of the scene itself. That's very common. But as we see here, I've got my nice little LED here. That's with it off, and that's with it on. It's not much, but you can see a little bit on the cheek right here. It's a little bit harder with someone with facial hair, because especially if it's darker, or in my case like orange, it's going to be much harder to see the difference in something like that. But that's off, and that's on. We're seeing just a little bit right here of a difference, and I could crank this up if I wanted to, just to really hammer it home. Actually, no, let's go purple, just so you can see it a lot more. Here's with the fill light on. This is the spread that we're getting. So it wraps around the cheek, up to the ear, and then when I'm turned normal talking, we start to get it up here as well. It's a nice completion for the image itself, and it works almost 9 times out of 10. The only times I don't usually do 3-point lighting is if I'm doing, like I mentioned, like short films or just anything with like emotional value, because it just doesn't quite feel right. It doesn't hit home the imagery that we're trying to get through. Now this is good. There's nothing wrong with this at all. Even if I take away the fill light, which I do actually prefer to not have the fill light on a lot of things, just to create more interesting shadows on the side of the face. There's still another thing we can do to take this up a whole nother notch, and that's just creating atmosphere in the air, and I'll show you what that is. Okay, YouTube, don't worry, I'm doing this as safely as possible. This is just incense. Now, for creating atmosphere, we're just going to use smoke. It's the easiest thing in all of filmmaking that you can use. It's just any type of smoke. You can do other like products. Fog machines work wonderfully as well. Some people like to use the little aerosol cans. It's like called fog in a can or something like that. Those are what most people are going to use for any type of atmosphere. In all of your favorite films, if you see any of the volumetric lighting where it's just shooting through the windows and you can see all the individual rays, it's because this right here. I don't know if the camera's picking this up, but it's because of this, because of smoke. So without burning my house down, I do see a little bit of a difference, especially over here with the tungsten. I can see it more out of frame, but as the actual smoke kind of comes into shot with me, it will look a lot cleaner. Now, the important thing with lighting is not to always light for just showing your subject. I know that sounds very counterintuitive, but a lot of times it's actually more efficient just to light for the feeling. Like, let's say instead of me just talking to you, telling you about lighting, let's say we wanted something much more dramatic. Now, I don't know about you, but this feels much more dramatic, and I really, really like just the whole shadowy part of this side of the face. That is very interesting. It might look a little funny because we're white balanced for like daylight, so shooting with tungsten does give it like a weird kind of glow, but I kind of like just looking through the actual monitor on my camera. It looks very, very interesting, I will say. I might actually use this for something in the future. It has like a glow of like maybe like the sun rising, and now the actual sun rays are just coming over you. We could even turn this practical off. So now it's almost like I just woke up at the crack of dawn around 7ish, close to golden hour, and now we have this nice just glow just coming right towards me, engulfing the whole right side of my body. That is absolutely perfect. That's what I mean by certain things just look way more cinematic when you're not lighting for the person, but more like the feeling for the scene itself. I did want to throw a few examples of just some things I've shot previously, just to kind of hammer this home, just with the importance of lighting and cinematography, because it's never the actual camera, it's always the lighting. You could shoot some of the most beautiful images with a $200 camera, and you can shoot complete crap with a $10,000 camera. It's not the camera, it's always the lighting and your personal ability. So this is the first little clip that I did want to talk about. Now, in this scene, I was trying to portray, this was just for a school project, but what I was trying to portray was the feeling of just loneliness, isolation, and just sadness, just any kind of just like very, very down feeling. We did do this all in just his kitchen. It's just one single light lighting it from the outside, creating this nice silhouette effect. And it's one thing that I do love that I don't think enough movies or shows will do, and that's just creating silhouettes. Silhouettes to me are the most beautiful images that we can actually create. I'll throw it on the screen now. If you've seen Sicario, just this image by itself is one of the best looking shots, in my personal opinion, in recent cinema. It is just so clean. It's done with natural lighting. It is just beautiful. I love this shot with all the colors as the soldiers silhouetting as they walk across. You couldn't have done it any better, and that's why Roger Deakins, who actually was the cinematographer for that movie, is just the best of all time. You just can't beat him in my opinion. He's one of my favorites. What Deakins loves to do with natural lighting is what I try my best to imitate, and I will never quite get to that level, at least not for a very, very long time. Some of the first things I ever shot outdoors look completely terrible and are so unusable that I think I deleted them, honestly. I don't even remember finding them. If I can find them, I will throw them up on the screen. But this is something I did recently in the same project. And just the tones and the coolness to the image, it fits so well with not only what we were trying to do, but it also works perfectly for just the setting. You can see all the details of his face nice and just properly. It's a little flat, but with natural lighting, you will get that a lot of times unless you use something to create some negative fill. Or you could also use a bounce just to get whatever light you have to be just a little bit brighter on the face. But for what we were doing and just the overall tone of it, I just love this flat, monotone kind of feel, and it works so beautifully. And it's one of the, at least the few images that I've ever shot that I truly appreciate and love. If there's one thing that we can take away from today's video, it's just the true importance when it comes to cinematography is just lighting in general. You can have the worst camera possible, like I was saying, and you can shoot some really, really beautiful images. It doesn't matter as much for the gear, and even I still struggle with this to this day, just wishing I had a better camera. I currently have a Canon R50. It is more than enough for what I need, but I'll go through the spurts of just thinking I need something a little bit crazier, maybe something a little bit better to really push me forward. But just practicing on what you have feels so much more rewarding, and just, I don't know, it just fits so much better for what you're trying to do versus going out and trying to get an Alexa or going out and getting a Sony Venice. That's great if you can do that. If you have that to your ability, use it. There's no reason not to. But if you're just starting out, even if you're just on a phone, I can show you my first short film I shot on my cell phone. Actually, I will put an image of it right now up. This is the first thing I ever shot on my phone. This is all done on just an iPhone 14 Pro. Nothing crazy, just good lighting. That's it. That's all it took. You can do anything as long as you learn the craft. You don't have to be an artist. You can be a craftsman. Just work for it, and you can do some really cool stuff. This setup I have right now, someone might look at this and say it looks terrible, but that's the beautiful thing with lighting, is it's all about your taste. It's all about what you're shooting for and the feel of it. But yeah, I think that is going to do it for this video. Let me know of anything you want to see in the comments down below. I'm interested in doing more like IRL stuff, just to, I don't know, kind of show you behind the scenes of what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling and what I really just want to do in the future. I'm so interested in filmmaking in general that I don't know, I'm down for anything and everything. If you want to learn how to make a prop, I will learn with you. We'll do this all together. I'm just a film student, so I'm here for just the full experience, just trying to learn everything and anything. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.